Galnet News Update, 18th of July 3308. In an article published in The Sovereign today, deputy editor and commentator Haimar Borichev argues that the alien species we call the Thargoids have been demonised by interest groups within human society. To Borichev, even the name Thargoid is pejorative. He argues that communication, understanding and diplomacy should be the way forward.
Salvation's latest superweapon is designed to attract and then destroy members of the species we've named Thargoids. If successful, it would wipe them from the core systems entirely. But there are a number of questions that nobody seems to be asking, including this. Do we have the right to take such action? What's that you say? The Thargoids are the aggressors, out to destroy humanity, or are they just defending historical territory from our expanding presence? Remember, they were navigating space 1 million years before we were. If a new species suddenly emerged on our worlds and began strip mining our lands, how would we react? Now, I'm not suggesting that we should pledge ourselves to the Thargoid cult and start praying to Thargoids. But how much of the considerable military budget spent on this interspecies war could have been saved by a simple conversation? Has anyone genuinely attempted to communicate with them? If we'd been more focused on diplomacy instead of extermination, we might have found a way to parley with the Thargoids by now. How many lives could have been saved if our two races had exchanged a few words? I maintain there is no justification for xenocide. This whole war is as manufactured as our name for these beings. Ask yourself why the superpowers would like you to believe they're fighting monsters who can't be reasoned with. Ask yourself how this benefits the politicians, the corporations, weapons manufacturers, security forces. Ask yourself who the real monsters are.
More leaders have been commenting on the situation in HIP 22460, while the Prime Minister, Emperor and President remain supportive of Azimuth Biotech and Salvation's plan to eliminate the Thargoids. Yuri Grom and Marlinist First Minister Olivier Volkov have declared themselves opponents of Azimuth and the Proteus Wave superweapon. Grom is not so much bothered about the genocide of the Thargoids as he is about what use Salvation may put his superweapon to once the Thargoids have been eliminated. Can he, and indeed will he, turn it on human targets once the Thargoids have gone? The Marlinists are in the front line of any future Thargoid invasion, and Volkov recognises this, but says that the Marlinists must not view Salvation as trustworthy. Pirate King Archon Delane, whose bases in the Pegasi sector are like the Marlinist colonies uncomfortably close to the Thargoid stomping grounds, takes a less nuanced approach, suggesting that the Kumo nation is willing to assist in eliminating the alien threat, and that the only good Thargoid is a Thargoid that has been burned to a chitinous crisp. He describes the Thargoids as scum, yet despite his fighting words, he has not actually committed any Kumo resources to fighting the aliens. Federal Ambassador of the Alliance of Independent Systems, Jasmina Halsey, seems quite uninterested in the outcome of the war on Thargoids, expressing only a hope that the cooperation between Alliance and Federation in HIP 22460 fighting Thargoids can be extended to other areas where the superpowers could benefit from working together. Unlike Princess Aisling, who has expressed her distaste for Salvation, Senator Torval views Azimuth Biotech as a potential new business partner and is seeking to establish commercial links between the Empire and Salvation's organisation. And Hadrian Duval's only interest is making sure that the cooperation between the superpowers that Halsey is so keen on should be time-limited, and that the Empire should as soon as possible once more become self-sufficient in matters of defence. Meanwhile, many independent pilots have been working hard for Salvation, both delivering Guardian technology to the Bright Sentinel and working with Alliance, Imperial and Federal forces to hold back the Thargoids in HIP 22460. Salvation's plans for the Proteus wave weapon have been delayed by 2 weeks after action taken by Operation Witch Hunt badly damaged the economies of systems run by Azimuth Biotech. In other news, the Federal Intelligence Agency has expressed concern that the Red family seems, on current projections, set to outwit and outgun the forces of law and order in Andowatya, and warned that the consequences to federal health and law and order if crime boss Oberon Church is allowed to escape could be severe.